You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Donald Trump continues to give aid and comfort to white supremacists. Of course, you saw him refuse to condemn the white supremacists and the Proud Boys at the debate on Tuesday night. You still continue to see him give excuses. And not only that, you don't just look at the statement. People keep saying, will he issue a statement condemning them? It's his actions. Last night in Minnesota, racist statements regarding Congressman Ilhan Omar. That is who they are. We're going to show you later some video of the Proud Boys. Also, the nonsense coming out of the White House today where Kayleigh McEnany sparred with a Fox News radio reporter who was like, look, can you just give me some truth? Joining us right now out of Texas, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Congresswoman, sorry to keep you waiting, but we were doing two different networks now on my show here. Here's the thing. Everybody wants to say, hey, issue a statement. But in the Senate, the Republicans would not pass a resolution condemning white supremacy like the House did. Mitch McConnell pays lip service when what they're doing is actually standing with white supremacists. That's who today's Republican Party targets, white supremacists.
Shame is not even the right name. You just simply can't describe comments that when asked to clarify, as you said, words don't really count. But we remember when the president said what he was going to do, in quotes, for the Black community, and asked the question, what the heck, he didn't use that word, have you got to lose? Well, we have seen now in living color what we have lost. We've got 200,000 plus dead, and the majority of them, large numbers, are people of color and African American. We've got a president who refuses to acknowledge that white supremacy is domestic terrorism, and it is the major domestic terrorist attack or threat in the United States, per his own FBI director, and as well per his Secretary of Homeland Security. Then you have some person that publicly takes the power of the presidency and attacks a duly sitting American citizen, member of Congress, who is a Black woman, who likewise was a refugee, who fought her way out of a refugee camp with her family and survived and came to the United States and is a contributing citizen of this nation, putting her life in jeopardy. And he has a massive effort across the nation to demonize Black elected officials and election leaders and to take every moment he can by litigation to destroy any structure of voter empowerment that he can find, i.e. the court case in Pennsylvania, where he wants to deny state leadership's right to say if your ballot comes in 3 days after and postmarked appropriately, it is counted. Or in the state of Texas, where he wants to remove the drop-off point where you can drop your mail ballot in to make sure that the elderly and the disabled and poor people can make sure their ballots are counted. This is a conspiracy without question, and this is a presidency that has failed, and it is dangerous. I am concerned about the lives of people of color being threatened at a podium from the person who is supposed to be the commander-in-chief and supposed to be the healer and comforter of the people of the United States of America. But we have something to deal with.
Well, the thing, Congresswoman, here, look, even in that particular debate, you had Donald Trump constantly bringing up Antifa, and he ignored when Joe Biden said that Christopher Wray, the FBI director, has talked about that Antifa is an ideology, not an organization, and that the greatest threat in this country is white domestic terrorism. The FBI has issued a report. You're on the Judiciary Committee. Y'all have seen that stuff. And so when you have Trump and Republicans in the House and the Senate totally ignore the reality that domestic terrorism in this country is not led by Black people, it's not led by Muslims, it's not led by Latinos, it's led by largely white men. And the FBI even had a report showing how white supremacists are infiltrating the military and law enforcement.
It's growing, Roland, and it's good to be with you. Forgive me. I'm so overwhelmed by the dangers that we're facing with respect to people's right to vote and then their actual existence, because we have someone who, as you have said, has denied actual truth. And that truth, of course, is evidenced by sworn officers of the law, Director Ray, the FBI director, and the interim secretary of Homeland Security, who's made it clear that white supremacist activity actually have caused havoc with respect to lives. White supremacy killed people in El Paso. White supremacy killed the people of Mother Emanuel. White supremacy killed 2 officers in California, federal officers, in terms of their mindset. The Boogaloo Boys and the Proud Boys were in Charlottesville, where a young woman was killed, and the language that was said showed that they had no intentions of respecting Jews or blacks or any other people of color. And they were speaking about them not being here. In essence, I paraphrase their words, but it was a frightening display of threat to people of color and who are different. So we have a situation where the president, either his staff has to get him to recognize that this is an election, not a war, and he cannot have war on the American people, and to ask him again, maybe 3 strikes and you're out. Does he understand the necessity of condemning white supremacy? Is he standing with the groups that the FBI director has called outright domestic terrorists, and the number 1 domestic terrorism or terrorist in the nation comes from the movement of white supremacy and white nationalism? This is nothing to play with. It is serious. And I just want to take a moment, because I know Ilhan Omar. We worked together. We've traveled together. We were together in the merciless violence against George Floyd. His family suffers every day. They live in my area and constituency. And I pray for them, as I do for all of those who have lost loved ones through this acts of police misconduct. But when you take after a member of Congress who is in fact a federal officer, it is a felony to perpetrate an act against a violent act or an act against a member of Congress to cause them harm or for them to lose their life if it is a violent act. And for the leading voice, Commander-in-Chief, President of the United States, to make horrific fun, demeaning fun, over someone who has walked the same path of refugees who have come to this nation for decades and have taken their rightful place as citizens of the United States, fleeing violence themselves, she as a child, and to do this with disdain, with dark humor, with everyone laughing, I believe is really, if it is not the debate, if it is not the failed COVID-19 policies, if it is not the tragedy of 200,000 people who passed away, and let me be very clear, no, he did not bring COVID-19 here, but his failed policies and inaction and making light of wearing a mask, that doctors said that if we had started wearing a mask in February, 100,000 people could have been saved, or thousands, tens upon thousands could have been saved. So my point is that we're on dangerous ground, and when you don't listen to your authority, your FBI, who are dealing with intelligence every single day that comes from their agents across the nation. I deal with them as a senior member of the Judiciary Committee. Then we have a crisis. When the Attorney General of the United States, your personal lawyer, asked by me in the Judiciary Committee, says, I asked the question, is there systemic racism and institutional racism in the United States? And they cannot answer, or they say, I don't believe so. We have a serious problem, and the election is going to be the key element of change. And I can't imagine any American of good faith, beliefs in our values, is not voting like they've never voted before. It is a life or death matter.
Absolutely. Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
All right, folks, back to our Road Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks at Seek.com, of course, black-owned company founded by Mary Spiel. They have a couple of great products that you can actually get. This is their VR headset. This headset, folks, allows for you to actually take your cell phone, pop it right into here, close it up, and then you can actually watch the VR content, the virtual reality content on Seek.com right there through your phone. Actually, it's pretty cool. You can also look at 360-degree video from other websites as well, and it puts you literally right there where the video was shot. And so they have this particular headset right here. They also have their 360-degree 4D headphones. And so these headphones right here, which are Bluetooth. Also, they have the headset, which you use for when you, if you're for all you gamers out there. And then, of course, it has this amazing sound, really, which actually covers around. Typically, you just have the headphones just right here, but this actually has a sound that goes all around your head. I love these headphones. Love listening to music with them and watching videos as well. And so, all you got to do, folks, is go to Seek.com, Seek.com. Use the promo code RMVIP2020. That's RMVIP2020 to actually try these out. And so that's what we want you to do. All right, folks. So again, go to Seek.com.